So to give a little more context, as Matthew brings us back up, we have the data insight service, and then we also have the pricing service. They sort of work together in some regards, right? So one's surfacing information, the other one uh, things in your inventory based on that information. So we want to show what's trending, changes in quantities, and Matthew will get deeper into that in this section. And then the secondary service will kind of reflect and react to what's happening in our network that, where the data that we're collecting from that. And allow people to opt in and create actions and, rules that basically say that if this, then that will happen to my inventory, whether it's a price change or a quantity change or that sort of thing. So this part's the insights part, right? So this is that Matthew's showing is, what are we displaying? What do we want to show our clients? What kind of information is relative? And it feels very stock markety, to be honest with you. And I think that's the intent, is we're actually kind of stepping back and treating inventory as if it was a stock item, right? So, we're kind of trying to keep that real-time change in prices and display that what's changing day in and day out, or even every, 12 hours.
This is beautiful.
Yeah,
This is great.
cool. So I can show some of the stuff in here. Thanks, Mike, for that information. And yeah, we can always show the pricing tool / pricing service stuff later as well. Yeah, so like Dan was saying, Mike and I took a look at what data do we have, and then also what data would be really cool to have. And then, as Dan also just said a few minutes ago, we would be very open to anyone suggesting what other stuff. And actually, probably there's more stuff on Mike and I's list that we didn't work in here yet. This is a work in progress, by the way. But yeah, I can walk you through just generally. The idea is you have a main dashboard that's an overview that contains a lot of stuff, and it's global. So you've got best-selling products, total quantity items, all that stuff is like for all channels right here. And all channels, as you can see, is like my website, point of sale, eBay, like all the integrations, all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of an aggregated data in an overview. And then you can, of course, click that and filter down any of these things here. And then there's a cool thing that you can open up if you click on a product, and we call this the visor, Crystal Visor. So this gives you an insight into individual products, and you can view more details, see all this stuff, add it to your favorites. And then these little data sections here have links that go to the relevant areas. So you could manage your stock right here. You could jump over to view report, like more detailed reports. And then this is what Mike was talking about. You can jump over to pricing tool and modify the rules and all that good stuff that affects that. And then there's just a lot more data here that you can explore. The cool thing about what we designed is it's just like you can just probe and click and explore nonstop. Like you could just go all day if you wanted and click on stuff and jump from product to product, see all kinds of things. So you can see some of the most recent listings for either sales or buy list, frequently purchased, related. There could be, articles, social posts, member stuff, which we haven't really ironed out, but that's an idea. And then you can jump over, like I said, like I could click this and it reloads the visor into the other product that I just clicked. So there's that. And then there's a lot of cool interactions throughout these different things that you can hover on charts and stuff and see all kinds of things going on here. And then, there's just a bunch of different modules and ideas, like a my watch list. So you could watch specific products within the insights area. So if I just want to, let's say I just want to add a product here, I could just search for it, click add here, done. And then that's now in my watch list. And then you can watch categories as well. And the categories that you're watching will probably be by default the stuff that you're opted into, that you're saying like, I'm interested in this, or I'm selling this, or it's in my collection. And then you can probably modify and manage stuff like this. You can just remove things or whatever you want to do. So and then trending products. And of course, like I said, there's just plenty more then there's other tabs. So that's the overview. You can jump in and it filters it down into more specific things. So it's just best selling, categories, all that kind of stuff, comparison leaderboards. So you can click these drop downs and change the time frame. And then another cool idea is if you hover on one of these, it'll show you, it'll highlight it within the different lists that you have. So you can see like how that product has gone up or down in the leaderboard. Let's see what else we got. There's probably a bunch of stuff. So the pro mode, this is the thing that Dan was talking about. Actually, so hold on really quick. I think I'm in the wrong area.
That's
Here we
one
go.
we're still kind of actively working on.
Yeah, we're working on that still. This is sort of like the Iron Beam, the Iron Beam-esque type of thing, which is the stock market stuff that Mike was talking about. And so, yeah, it's very compact. It's very a lot more data crammed into a smaller area. You've got your stock, your candlestick type of charts. And this, like Mike just said, this is very work in progress. This is like we kind of got cut off here and had to do a bunch of other stuff, but there's lots of things you can filter down by product type and all that. Mike, feel free to comment if there's any other stuff that I either didn't touch on or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
it's more,
open to the
mostly like
floor to you.
mostly a clarifying sort of scenario. So the advisor aspect is kind of like another project, right, within this project, which is going to be something that kind of expands across the entire admin. So that's just sort of like its version here. I think what's most important is as we're designing widgets and a variety of widgets to pull information. So it seems to me a good starting point is to sort of get that list of information we need, right? And then we can always create widgets surrounding that information that we need to be displaying. That's in my opinion, right? So what we're trying to do is kind of do a hybrid of two things of, hey, clearly you can see in the title, best-selling products. That's information we need. Here's an idea on how we can display that. So we do have a list of stuff that we can share. And we have been making like a variety of widgets based off of that. Like let's say best-selling products, we'll try 2 or 3 different widgets. Maybe with the hopes that someday we just say it's a good idea to make all of them, let people pin whichever one they want, sort of thing.
One thing, guys, is the turn rate rank by product type, and then showing our members what percentage of each decile they're out of stock on. So like they might want to see of the 20% highest item turn rate, like what percentage of those items are they out of stock on?
For sure. Yeah, we have that in the list, and we may or may not be in here, but I know that's in our list in Figma that we were going to work in somewhere.
Yeah,
Mike, did we work that in yet, or
I think we built it under trending, right? So because that's
I don't think we have that one mocked up yet.
Correct. I think we've sort of integrated a lot of that information in. It's just not necessarily displayed just that yet. So that's one of the things we still have to do. Because I mean, even like right here, you can see, the total quantity of items. This shows you what percentages of stuff you have, right, of that catalog. So, or of your catalog makes up that. The alternative version of that is how much do you have of that overall in the network, right? So let's say TCG. You control 25% of the TCGs across our network, right? But yeah, we still need to do more within that aspect. Dan, this is like right now we're just like, okay, what's the list of information we for sure need? That's whether basic or not basic, to try to get that complete list, and then I think some of that just easily translates to a widget, right? So if we have X, Y, and Z information, then that's the equation that makes the turn rate rank widget happen.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, I mean, that's where we're at right now with this project. There's a lot more to do, and we have lots of ideas. And like I said, we're open. So anyone here can comment, email, Slack us, whatever, and we'll work that into the spec and to what we have. But yeah, I mean, I think this is off to a pretty cool start. And then engineers can kind of know what the vision is. So yeah, that's it.
I think it looks amazing,
Daniel,
by the way.
Thanks. Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you. Yeah. If it's easier for you, we can definitely create an Excel sheet of some sort that just has all the the like information bits of what we're looking for, right? So, this looks nice, but I can understand if it's like a little more difficult to, it'd be like, okay, I need to take this all apart to make this a more linear aspect to the code or whatever. I think wouldn't take us long to translate the current list we have in Figma into some sort of doc.
Yeah. I should also comment, because like Mike clarified that the visor thing, so this thing is its own like feature that will be across the entire new system and admin and will be able to present other. In that same regard, this action center over here is also, it's not part of the data insights thing. This is like a global thing across the admin. So just to clarify, that's like a slice that off and don't look at that right now kind of a thing.
Hey guys, I'm just gonna add one other thing in here then. So, so number one, like I think Matthew or somebody commented on maybe like being able to customize those cards at the top, you know, which says like, you know, basically where it provides the trends and stuff. Totally, that should totally be customizable, and that would be awesome. We have a similar thing in our platform as well, and we had customers asking for basically downwards trends, like basically showing the best and the worst as well. And this is primarily showing the best, right? Like everything that's like going up. But just a side note, really. But yeah, you already have a bunch of other stuff that's showing like the downward stuff. But the other thing is this is more in relation to data itself, but there is a ton of data on here, and almost all of it is aggregate. And even though aggregates are pretty decently fast, because there's so much of it here, I would just say that to maybe operate in the mindset of like, so for instance, there's a lot of graphs here that are showing they are operating on like multiple months, or I don't know, but maybe I even maybe saw something over a year. The shorter that historic period can be for initial display, the better, because like Wen was just clicking on something like on the previous platform, it was super slow. That's what it's going to end up being, because there's like, especially this page. I mean, like what you just like, or this view, there is so much data on here, and every single one of them is going to be, you know, there's going to be a lot of hits basically going against this DB, right? So
they want to see like what's going on in the day.
Yeah, I was just gonna say exactly what Dan just said. Yeah, the default view will always be like very short term, and then if they choose to probe deeper, and then they yeah, we'll have to understand like, okay, it's got to gather that data. It's going to take a few seconds here to load that.
Yeah, like just to put something in your mind as well, as like for instance, so again, like our platform, like internally for our company, we have lots of time series data as well. And what we did is basically we said like after 30 days, we basically made it into like an asynchronous thing instead. So like once you click it, it actually tells you that like, nope, it's generating stuff right now. It might be like a minute, it might be 5 seconds, it might be 10 seconds, but it's going to be a little while, right? But like all the other stuff, like, you know, up to a month is going to be basically fast, right? So, but I mean, if you guys are, it sounds like you,
that would be A-okay.
Okay, cool. Then yeah, like I mean, it sounds like you guys are already doing the thing with the 1 day concept in mind, so that's cool.
Daniel, can I get clarification? So what you just said, if they click something that's longer term, are you saying that it would be loading in the background and then it would like pop up and tell them that? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm saying that like to maybe build that into the actual design itself, with the idea that like something is going to wait, right?
Yeah,
like there's going to be something that's going to show up later. Hopefully within, you know, seconds, but it might be like up to like, you know, a minute in a worst case scenario if it's like a year that they're looking up, or 5 years or something like that.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying that. That's a great point. Yeah, whenever we have something in the system that takes longer than a second to load, there'll be some type of indication to the user, you know, for a good user experience. And if something like that happened, we would definitely have a pop-up and it'd be like, you know, hey, give us a minute, we're gathering that. You know,
can we design some glowing crystals where it just goes from blue, green, red, blue, green, red?
We could, but it would be a better experience even in addition to that, to add to that. That could be the loading icon, but it could have a thing that's like, hey, give us a sec, we're gonna gather that, you know, feel free to continue browsing and we'll let you know. And then
Oh,
a
that's
little, and then a snack bar would, and then a snack bar thing would slide up at the bottom that's like, hey, the thing you requested is ready, click here. And you click it and then the page loads what they
Oh,
just
that's
asked
a
for.
great experience. I love that.
Yeah.